Join us and help us continue to support the many talented people of our community. Learn how to get your business highlighted on La Crosse Local. Go to lacrosselocal.com and click on Advertise. The 1925 American silent horror film The Phantom of the Opera is coming to La Crosse on Halloween night. Featuring the mighty Moeller organ, enjoy the silent film with the accompaniment it deserves at the Capella Performing Arts Center. Get tickets online at capellaperformingartscenter.com. We connect with Chris Wysong of Bucket of Bread. We chat dough mix using certified organic ingredients. We chat origins of the business, versatile baking goods, best sellers, and what's coming down the road for this veteran-owned business. You can find more conversations, food reviews, live music, and events on our website, lacrosselocal.com. I'm Amy.
And I'm Brent.
And this is La Crosse Local.
My name is Chris Wysong, and I was born on a little dirt road south of Des Moines, Iowa, in between a town called Carlisle and Hartford. And mom had always raised me to, just make sure I knew how to cook. And eventually I got into baking. I was just always the person at the house that made the foods and things. After high school, I eventually got into the military, and my last duty station was Fort McCoy here in the local area. And I just ended up staying after I retired out in 2018, putzed around. And then one day I woke up with this kind of cool idea that all the things I've been doing, I could put into a bucket and use to help people. So that's kind of it in a nutshell.
Was this something that was kind of mulling around in your mind for a while, or how did the bucket of bread sort of connect?
So the connection was just literally waking up at 3 a.m. and going, holy smokes. It was like a weird dream that didn't really have a bunch of pictures. It was just like, I had this concept that I was like, oh man, I have to write this down. Let's do this. So I started looking into it, and I contacted the Small Business Development Center at the University of La Crosse, and they kind of helped me put together the business plan. Within a few months, I had this location at the Cooley Region Business Center here on Kane Street on the north side. And a few months after that, I did all of the renovations needed to get through the inspections and got some insurance. And by May of 2021, I was doing my very first event where I was able to tell people that I exist. So a little bit of me not advertising very much because of a shoestring budget, of course, and just getting the proof of concept down. Found out some folks really actually like it. And I'm at the point now where I need to actually start doing some real advertising and letting people know about this, because it really is a cool idea.
In terms of like the bucket, is it just functional? Is that the reason it's kind of sold this way for people to grab?
Yeah, so what I've done is I've created these blends of certified organic flours, and I've put them in these 100% recyclable buckets. And when you get them home, you can add 3 cups of lukewarm water, whether you're mixing it right inside the bucket itself, or you take out what the dry ingredients and use it in a bowl for like a stand mixer and a dough hook. Either way, you just make sure nothing dry is left. In just a few minutes of mixing it up, you let it sit right inside the bucket for 2 to 3 hours. And by the time you come back, it'll have risen to the top and it's done. You don't have to knead it or work it. You just reach in, grab what you want, and that's when you can turn it into your bread, your pizza, cinnamon buns, garlic knots, breadsticks, pretzels, bagels, donuts, whatever you can imagine using the dough for. But the nice part, and where this bucket comes into play, is that it's now like meal prep for baking, because this will last up to 2 weeks in your fridge. So you just pull out your bucket, grab your handful, and in 15-20 minutes, you could have the fresh bread if you want every night, or whatever you want to make.
Wow. Yeah. It always seems kind of tentative when you're making the bread. And I'm sure a lot of people jumped in on the sort of bread making during COVID here. Being able to actually keep that for that long seems to be a good sort of solve that issue.
Yeah, you end up with over a gallon of dough. It's about 4 pounds to play with for the next couple weeks. And it's really just pretty convenient because it's easier than a bread maker. And once you get the initial mixing done, you're pretty much set for the next couple weeks for making it quick.
You kind of pride yourself on it. You mentioned it too, organic ingredients. Why is that important to you?
Well, one of the things I wanted to make sure is that I didn't use anything that wasn't pronounceable. So I wanted real ingredients. And the best way to do that is get ingredients that are certified organic. So I made sure that there wasn't any chemicals, there wasn't any preservatives. I don't use any sugars, fats, or oils. I don't use any dairy or egg, just the certified organic dry good stuff. So that's where I thought it was important because we don't need to eat all that kind of stuff.
So you did list off quite a few different things that people can actually use with the dough. Can you run us through some of the products?
So I have three different types of dough mix currently. I have some more in my head that I want to push out there, but for right now, I thought the basics were the best of to use a traditional white, and that is great for pretty much everything that pizzas, cinnamon buns, and anything in between. Then you have your hearty wheat, which on the back of the instructions, it'll have an option to turn that hearty wheat into a honey wheat. And either way, they're great. But as the honey wheat, I like to use that as a pizza crust for the Hawaiian style pizzas.
Mm.
And I've even heard stories. I need to test this one out myself, but instead of using the traditional white to make donuts, they have used it as a honey wheat donut. And I'm curious how that tastes. Sounds good. Then the 7 grain, I really like the extra textures for that. So I like bagels with it, crackers, and breadsticks, just those things with the extra texture. But all in all, everything makes the great bread if you're just looking for bread. But yeah, there's some variety and some experimentation that you can play around with it with.
So is there any one of these a bestseller, or?
I'd say by far it's the traditional white, and that's just simply because it's the most versatile, I believe.
Is there any go-tos that you do like on a weekly basis or something that you use this bread to make something?
Oh, for me personally, I really like to, at the house, we have the 4 burners, and then down the middle, there's like this griddle. And I'll just grab a little handful, I'll flatten it out, throw it on the griddle. And that's a quick little bit of flat bread for lunch. Super easy. The other thing I like to do is real quick, put some Canadian bacon, some cheese, close it up while I'm getting ready in the morning. 15-20 minutes later, I've got a little hot pocket or breakfast bundle, if you want to call it that. And that's pretty easy. Like I said, all of the stuff I like to make is super easy. My favorite recipe is with the traditional white. Put it out on Mother's Day, and I was using cardamom spice. So cardamom spice, brown sugar, lots of butter. Called it the Cardamom's Day spiced almond swirls. And they beat out the cinnamon buns for me by far. So easier to make and just super yummy.
Nice. So is there something coming down the road that you're excited for? Is there any sort of like getting this product out there, or what's coming down the road for you?
Coming down the road is I do plan to do some more advertising. I'm going to make that investment, try to get this pushed out there to a wider audience than just our local area. Hopefully I can get everybody in America to find out about this, because it's a pretty cool idea. It's a pretty cool product. People seem to like it, and super happy that it's working out.
In terms of people actually picking it up, do they just head to bucketofbread.com? Is there any place locally you can pick it up yet?
So you can get it at thebucketofbread.com. If you are local, you can select that as the shipping option, and there's no fee for stopping into my location here at 1100 Kane Street at the Cooley Region Business Center. My door's in the parking lot. There's got a big old bucket of bread sign on it, but it's super easy to pick up. Pretty much just make that order and I'll have it ready for you at your convenience.
Checking out your website too. So bucketofbread.com. Looks like you have all the social medias and stuff like that, but it looks like you also have a good list of different recipes, everything from breakfast, dinner, holiday celebrations. So you kind of put that out for people to kind of work with, huh?
For sure. I'm really excited to, try to come up with some of my own or have people submit them to me. And the more I get into this, the more I'll be able to add to that library, if you will, and just help give people some inspiration, and hopefully they come up with some good stuff themselves.
Well, it's definitely a cool idea. Oh, you can also send it as a e-gift card too, huh?
So yes, I have e-gift cards available in case somebody would like to give someone a gift for that. And in addition to e-gift cards and purchasing your own bucket, you can also purchase a bucket that is collected at the Bucket of Bread location. And then I bring those to the Hunger Task Force of La Crosse, and I'll give them the receipts, and they'll send you information you need for your tax donations as well.
Sweet. Just for people to follow along, you're on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter. Looks like, which one's that? TikTok. You're even on TikTok.
I don't do the dances.
YouTube, Pinterest. Which one of those is the best to follow if people just want to kind of kick it along with you?
I think Facebook is pretty much the easy go-to for folks. But yeah, really any of those. I try to maintain at least a little bit of a presence on each of those. But Facebook would probably be the best one to just get the general idea and some of the other events that I'm participating in. I'd like to just add that, the bigger this adventure becomes, the larger impact my Bucket of Bread organization is going to have on those in need. And I'm pretty motivated. I'm passionate about creating this into something bigger than myself. I'm really confident that with the help of, loyal customers and building up that following and getting more nationwide, that this is going to be able to help everyone find out that this really is the next best thing since sliced bread.
I love that. That's a good pitch right there.
La Crosse Local Podcast is a production of River Travel Media. Do you have an interview idea you'd like to share with us? Message us on Facebook at La Crosse Local. Find out more about us at lacrosselocal.com, and you can subscribe to the La Crosse Local Podcast on your favorite podcast app. If you like us, rate us 5 stars. We appreciate it.